This is Matt for Into Boxing. I'm delighted to be joined for the first time in person by Jessica Mccaskill. Jessica, I heard previously, as I was walking down, that you've been in Abu Dhabi a few weeks now ahead of your big clash with Chantal Cameron. How are you feeling? Are you sort of acclimatised, and has it been the best way to do it?
Yeah, I mean, the whole point in us, Rick Ramos and I, quitting our day jobs is that we could really devote ourselves 100% to boxing. And that means if we need to travel and if we need to stay in Abu Dhabi a couple weeks before the fight, that's the smartest thing to do, then that's what we're going to do. So, yeah, we've been here for a couple months. We were at Performance Boxing Studio. A couple weeks, about a month. Performance Boxing Studio was our boxing gym that housed us, so big shout out to them. But we're acclimated to the timing. It's about 13 hours to get here, and then it's 9 hours ahead, so you lose a whole day.
Yeah.
So everything is nice and acclimated now.
What do you make of Abu Dhabi? There's more events going on in the Middle East now with Saudi Arabia getting involved. It's like Abu Dhabi's doing this, Dubai do boxing events. What do you make of this sort of part of the world? It's beautiful, right?
Yeah, it's great. Palm trees everywhere, awesome weather, and I feel like they're doing everything in their power to make it very, very much a place that people want to come see. You know, people are building places left and right in Abu Dhabi. The construction is massive, and it's going to look totally different in a year. So they're definitely doing their part to bring other people to their part of the world.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about why you're here. Incredible fight. A lot of people are saying, myself included, I believe this is potentially a fight of the night. The way you two both fight, the styles. First off, what do you make of your opponent? We'll talk about her, Chantal Cameron. What do you make of her skill set? Not asking you to give her compliments. What do you make of her as a fighter?
I think, her best assets are her escape plans, her escape routes. She likes to shuffle and run a lot, and, all fighters like to hold once they feel my power. So that's just kind of the main things I'm working to defend.
Do you think that's where this fight's won for you? Do you think you have too much power and too much volume to sort of outgun Chantelle in this fight?
I definitely think I have too much power, and going up to 145 and fighting there for several fights and coming back down with that muscle mass and with that power, it's not like we starved ourselves out. I was on weight about a month ago, and so all of that's coming with me for the fight.
How do you find that? 'Cause you see it a lot in the female divisions, because it's as the talent pool is getting better now, it's less common. But you see the women yourselves, you move up and down quite a lot. How have you found that sort of process and getting down, but getting to this work?
I think it's fairly easy if you have the right team. We have Shy Fit Performance in Chicago. Rick Ramos, he has all the training under control. He has strength and conditioning all under control. But I think most of the females are doing a lot of those shifting in weights because we want better opposition. We want massive opportunities and different belts, and and we're not really afraid to try that out. So I think a lot of the conversation has always been, when you get into boxing and then you cut a bunch of weight, and sometimes it's just comfortable to fight where your weight is, or maybe even learn how to structure your body differently to fight up or down.
What would it mean to you to be called Undisputed? That's it's the main goal for every boxer, I'm sure, but it's sometimes rare, not necessarily because of anything to do with the talent, but a lot of the times belts get spread about due to mandatories, due to vacating, but to be called Undisputed really is the top of the top. What does it mean to you?
To be double undisputed.
Exactly.
Right.
You've experienced it before, so this is not your first time, but you imagine it to do it again.
Yes. To do it again, to currently hold the 147 belts, and then to get simultaneously the 140 belts would be absolutely ridiculous. I mean, nobody else has done it other than Clarissa Shields.
Yeah.
She's gone and gotten up to 3 undisputed, so there's always a bar to reach for. But this will be a very, very amazing moment for myself and my team.
Do you do this game? So does it mean a lot to you when you're in the ring and you get that feeling of you are undisputed, you are world champion, you do it for your family? What's that feeling like? How can you describe it for someone who's not been at that point yet?
There's so many feelings in the ring. Like, as soon as I get in the ring, I get on my knees and I pray and I thank God and I ask him to bring me out safely. And that moment in itself is super emotional, just because it's like, we're here. He's brought me here. And to have your hand raised, I mean, it's amazing, and that's something that you should be visualizing as a fighter. And then to have all the belts put on you and to be called Undisputed, and then for them to say, your hometown from Chicago, Illinois, all of it is just like a massive amount of emotions.
You've just mentioned God there. How big a part does maybe religion or God play in your life? I know a lot of fighters, first thing they do is thank God after a fight, obviously to get out safely, but how big a part does God play in your life?
Oh, God is everything in my life. I mean, I'm coming from being homeless to as a little kid to, yeah, having an investment banking job and then being able to quit that job and just do boxing full time. Like everything I do is a devotion to God, and I try to give back to my community. And I think that if that's part of your life, then don't be afraid to say it.
Are you wanting to sort of be that role model for people to look up to? Because when you look at your journey, you mentioned homeless
Yeah.
to being undisputed, to
Yeah.
potentially being 2 times undisputed, doing it on a world stage like this in a country like this where all the eyes of the world will be on this card. Are you wanting to sort of promote that story to give people the opportunity? Because obviously Chicago and certain areas, they're looking for that role model to say, look, you can go down different routes than some of the negative stuff it's associated with.
Yes, I've had some amazing people in my school life as a little kid. Teachers, Franklin School. They've done so much to change my life and give me a positive influence. And I want to give back to the schools. I buy books for the kids. I do stuff in community outreach. I feel like you should get involved because there's somebody out there with an issue that they're dealing with. It's not getting punched in the face. It's not fighting. It's not training. But they have something in their life, and unbeknownst to you, you are motivating them. And so I just want to be a motivation for whoever needs it and whoever wants it.
How satisfying is that, if you receive, say, a DM? I spoke to Tyson Fury about this before, so he's a big advocate for mental health.
Yeah.
And one of my questions I asked him was, will your achievements outside the rings not overshadow, but be bigger than what you do inside the ring? So I imagine if you get someone message you saying, look, I've seen your story, this is what I've done, that sort of really hit home, and you must feel so satisfying.
Boxing is the platform to get those messages out, and so I work really hard to continue to stay on a high level of boxing so that I have more eyes on me, so that I can get those messages out to people.
Well, look, Jessica, appreciate your time. Thanks for talking to Into Boxing. We're looking forward to your fight on Saturday, as I'm sure you're up and raring to go, and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.